Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports, sharing my collection. Today I'm going to share something with you that has been around for a long time. These things are unique. I have put together a nice little collection of them, and this is a nice little stack that I have. I think I have a couple more of these floating around somewhere in my collection. I just couldn't find them for the shooting of this video, but this is a nice start to show them off. If I come across any more, I might share them in the future with you guys. But what I'm talking about is Gateway Stamp Company envelopes, and also John Zasso Silk Z Cachets. Hopefully I'm saying the word cachet right. I know that's kind of a weird word to pronounce, so cachet. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. But the biggest way to tell the difference between these is Zazos are the big Z down here in the corner, and the Gateway Stamp Company has the Gateway Arch and the GS logo on them. So this is just a small collection that I picked up. I picked them up in various places. I bought the Brock on eBay. I picked up the Kirby Puckett, Rod Carew, Minnie Minoso. I'm going to try to zoom out so we can see these a little bit better while I talk about them. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at a card show. So those four I picked up from the same guy at a card show. And I picked this one up on eBay and actually sent it to, this was an unsigned one that I actually sent TTM through the mail, and that is to my favorite player, Will Clark, and he actually inscribed it to me. Joel Go Giants, Will Clark. And I sent that years ago, I want to say way before I had my channel up. But I would say about 5-6 years ago I sent that out to Will and had him sign it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these. This is, again, just a small collection that I've accumulated over the years. And again, these right here are ones that I bought all at one time. So that's how I acquired them. These were kind of a craze back in the 80s and early 90s to get first day envelopes signed by the depicted athlete. Sometimes they had commemorative ones that were talking about the Basketball Hall of Fame or something along those lines. I actually picked one up, and you can check that out in the video. I picked one up at the AAGPBL reunion. It was kind of an oversized one, but it's still the same concept, that they stamp a historic event, with the actual stamps, from the day that it happened. Or the other thing is talking about Lou Brock's stolen base record and when he set the record. So I'm not really sure why it talks about Kareem retiring in 1988 and then it's stamped 1989. So I'm not really too sure what that's about. So anyways, quite the nice little collectible. I'll tell you a little bit about the companies that created them, starting with the Zazos, which are the Will Clark and the Lou Brock. I could not find much about Mr. Zazo and his art. I don't know if he's still around. He may have passed away. I'm not really too sure. Maybe somebody that's more familiar with this collectible can chime in on that in the comments below. But he typically did more artwork on his items than he did live pictures. As you can see, like the Rod Carew, the Puckett, the Minnie Minoso are just more or less pictures printed on the envelope. And I'll pull one of these out so you can get a closer look at it. We'll look at Minnie Minoso here. And as you can see, this is just printer technology. This is like if you were to print out a photo on your printer now, you know, on your computer or something, that's about the quality of the photo. It's not, it's very granulated, you know, pixely. It's a good concept for the time, you know, back in the 1980s. Very cool concept in my opinion, and the authenticity of the autographs is 100% authentic. However, I have heard there was a snafu with the Pete Rose one back in the 80s that maybe somebody ghost signed them. This is before autographs had the certificate of authenticities kind of stamped on the actual item like they do now. You know, like you turn a card over, it says congratulations, this was signed in the witness of an employee of XYZ company. This kind of was like, well, if they're signed, the athlete sat down and signed 500 of them or whatever, and that was your authenticity by the company. So I've never heard of a controversy other than Pete Rose about these being authentic. If somebody has different information than me, definitely throw that out there, but the Pete Rose one is the only one that I'm aware of that kind of was up in the air about whether or not it was actually authentic or not. So buyer beware on that one. So what do these puppies cost? That's the question. So I'll talk about the ones I picked up at the card show. The person actually wrote the prices on the back of these. That was his asking price. So 10 bucks on Minoso, 20 bucks on Carew, looks like 40 on Kareem, and on Puckett he had 40 as well. I did not pay that much for all of that. There was no way that I would have paid that kind of money. I want to say that he had those prices and I went to his table and he said, I'll give you half off those prices. So, you know, I got Carew for 10, Minoso for 5, another 2 for 20. I am almost positive, again, this has been a couple years since I bought these. It was before my channel existed. Doing the math in my head, just thinking how I think when I try to negotiate deals, if they were half off with the Puckett and Kareem equaling $40 together, the Carew equaling 10, and the Minoso 5, I'm thinking I offered the guy 50 bucks for all 4 of them. Maybe even 40 bucks. Because, you know, if you look at it this way, I basically got the Minoso one for free. I paid the guy what he wanted for these, and got the Minoso for free. So I was pretty happy with that purchase, and they also came in these top loaders, so I didn't have to worry about, you know, going and finding a freaking top loader or something to put these in. So I want to say I paid between 40 and 50 bucks for these 4, you know, which comes out to 10 bucks a piece, which is really nice. The Lou Brock, I want to say I paid 10, 12 bucks at most. You know, at most I paid that for it. The Will Clark one was 5 bucks, if that, because it was unsigned at the time. And this is one of my favorite items that Will's ever signed for me, because obviously he personalized it to me. And, you know, I'm not in the hobby of collecting autographs to resell them. One day I realized that there will come a day that I can't take possessions with me, and somebody will sell my cards, and that person may be me, hopefully, you know, not in the near future, but, you know, you never know with medical bills and sending your children to college and, you know, things like that. I might have to consider selling my collection one day, but that's not in the near future. But as the old saying goes, you can't take it with you. So somebody's going to sell my stuff one day. But anyways, so I'm not in the hobby of collecting autographs to profit, so to speak. I'm not somebody that tries to buy something just to flip it. You know, like for example, I buy this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for, you know, 20 bucks, and I did have a experience with Kareem in person. It was positive once, not so positive the second time. But going back to this autograph, I have heard, you know, through the rumor mill that he will not sign the K Abdul-Jabbar anymore. I mean, maybe for the right price he does, but I don't know. So to talk about the Kirby Puckett really quick here, I never got a Kirby Puckett autograph before, so I was happy to get that. So I wanted to say, I will link what information I have about these down at the bottom. You can still to this day find these on eBay. Just simply go on eBay and type in autographed baseball envelope or autographed baseball cachet, and Z Silk cachet, Gateway Stamp Company envelope, and you'll probably find these signed and unsigned. I tend to just buy the signed ones because it's easier than buying it, sending it through the mail, all that jazz. But I'm going to throw a bonus item or two on the screen, only because I just happened to keep these together. And this one was in a Through the Mail Thursday video a little while back, and that's a fold-out poster signed by Bobby Canoop, and this was an insert in one of the 60s card sets back in the day. They recently brought them back not too long ago as box toppers. Sorry, I kind of showed the next item. And this is a unique item I picked up on eBay, again, before I had my channel. This is a custom, I guess, index card of the Phillies, and you know, it's just the generic Phillies or whatever. But somebody either got this signed in person or they sent it out through the mail. I'm not really sure. I tend to think it's probably in person because it seems like all the signatures are the same. You know, they probably went to an event, you know, that had all these people at it. But it is, and this is my handwriting, see how legible that is, it is the 1964 Phillies. And the 1964 Phillies are known for an epic collapse, is about the best way I could put it, because the St. Louis Cardinals won the World Series that year, or went to the World Series that year. So anyways, it is signed by Art Mahaffey, Costin Shockley, Roy Sievers, Johnny Callison, Cookie Rojas, Dennis Bennett, Ryan Duran, and Bob Oldis, all on the front. And I am not going to send this through the mail at the fear of losing it, but I picked this up for like $10. You know, and that was one of those purchases that I made in a big group where I got, you know, multiple items all at once, and this came out to like $10, and I thought, well, for $10, there's some autographs on there I don't have, like Johnny Callison and Ryan Duran. I'm going to take it. So bonus video there. Thanks for tuning in for another episode, sharing my collections. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Kind of a blast from the past. And as always, happy collecting.